Hi, I'm Matilda Morgan, and today I want to talk about how you can take your on-brand wardrobe from one season to the next. So, I'm in Australia, so what I'm going to be talking about specifically is moving from a warmer season into a cooler season. So, at the moment, we're obviously transitioning into cooler months. That will be different levels of cool throughout the continent. So we can go from there. Australia is a big place, guys. And certainly everyone around the world watching this can take tips and tricks from that. And as we go through the year, I'll do this for the other seasons as well. So today what I want to share with you is 4 general tips that you can use to transition your wardrobe so that you maintain a consistent brand image that will cool in your audience and allow them to invest with you really, really easily. Follow and subscribe, because later down the track, what I'm going to do is go and do a video specifically on each body shape so that you can get a bit of a more personalized for you aspect about how you can take this transition for your body shape. So I will put the link for a body shape quiz in the comments below, so make sure you do that and find out what body shape you are if you haven't already. There's also some really good recordings there about with some more tips and tricks on it. So today we're going to do number 1. Let's jump into number 1 right now. So number 1 is layers. Layers are really, really, really fun. And if you have had any experience in Melbourne, if you've lived in Melbourne, I lived there for 5 years, you should be an expert on layering. So Melbourne is famous for going into 4 seasons in one day. And so often, every time you go out, you need to have something for warm or cold. Whatever's going to happen in that next 5 minutes, you need something for it. Ugh, it's crazy. Luckily, I'm in Queensland now. We don't have that as much. So layers are really good because they allow for a gradual movement and transition in your wardrobe. So this allows you to be able to curate your wardrobe more. So being able to layer means that you can use items from previous months, from previous seasons, warmer seasons, for example, and bring them into cooler seasons without having to invest in buying a whole new wardrobe. So this is really cool. What this does is allows for a consistency in your branding, and it also allows for you to maintain an on-brand wardrobe without getting that overwhelmed. So it means that, like, going into the cooler months, you go, okay, so I need to get a jacket, basically. I've got these aspects of the underlayers of my clothing now, which can be built on the summer. Now I need those over pieces. So jacket, blazer, scarf, whatever it needs to be, maybe a thermal if it gets really, really cold where you are. And it allows you to maintain that brand aesthetic. This is what's going to bring people to you more and allow them to invest in you. So sometimes people will take a couple of months to consider whether they're going to buy from you, and this will allow it to be easier. I just want to touch on why it's important to be able to transition into each season smoothly. It's not just for your personal comfort and personal enjoyment, as that is a very important factor, do not get me wrong. It's also because it creates a timeliness around your brand. So how I term timeliness is that it allows people to feel they are moving in time with you. So one of the greatest uniting factors, one of the greatest connecting factors that we as humans have, especially in this time and age, is the weather. So being able to correlate and visually see that someone is having a shared experience with us based on the weather that's outside is hugely important. Now, you can't do that if you're not creating new content, if you're not creating a wardrobe that's still on brand. We still want to see the consistency of brand. If you're not doing that through each season. So this is why you wouldn't see summer pictures in winter of someone generally. So if you look at any of the top influencers, any of the top entrepreneurial branding that are constantly putting out new things, you'll see that they are doing this timeliness aspect to their visual branding. Another reason is because it shows movement as well. So showing movement through consistent output of imagery that correlates with the timeliness It builds trust, and it also shows that your business isn't stagnant. So you can't have this movement created when you only using a couple of images for each thing. So that is a really, really important of becoming like a super successful investable coach, entrepreneur. So number two is knowing your shape. Knowing your shape is super important. So please take the quiz if you haven't already. There's also a bunch of other resources you can take online as well. So simply knowing what shape you are is important because it will give you an insight into what outfits to wear and then what key items to invest in. And what I'm going to focus on today is specifically the neckline. Because we're showing up more online, because we want people to focus more on our face, having the right neckline as an entrepreneur, coach, boss lady, having the right neckline is really, really important. So there's certain necklines that will allow certain values to be shown and create that investable area. So a good example of that is the V neckline. So the V-neck can be used in quite a few of the body shapes, and it's great. So what happens with the V-neck, it's a more masculine cut. So what it does is it conveys more authority, and it creates more authenticity. No, it does, it can. What I wanted to say is credibility, which is a completely different word. So authority and credibility. So this is a more masculine cut. So once you bring that in, it creates that kind of V-neck to see your face, and it creates an unconscious atmosphere that goes, okay, this person knows their stuff. It's fascinating how it works. So what I see a lot of women do is that they go overly feminine in their silhouette and in the neckline. So think of anything rounded, soft edges, and then what happens is that you may lose out on the authority and credibility. And you'll find that you get people go, hey, can you help me? I feel so safe around you. However, I'm not going to actually give you my money for it. So finding that balance is really important. V-necks are really easy to do that. So what you can do, I'm just using this as an example as well. What you can do with V-necks is actually once you layer your clothes, you can create the V-neck on top of what's happening. So it doesn't necessarily need to be a V-neck top to create a V-neck. So a great example is, you can use accessories, so necklace, to create that V-neck or that angle here. So this is a softer, this is more of an oval neck. But you can do that with that, or you could have a turtleneck on. Turtlenecks are totally in vogue, and create a V-neck with that. Or you could use a blazer, jacket, or something over the top that can help create that shape for you and maintain that warmth as well. So you need to know your body shape before you can do that. The number 3 is purchasing timeless pieces based on your body shape. So you want to be able to invest in better quality pieces. Why? Because it means you can go back to those better quality timeless pieces time and time again, and they will maintain the look and feel that you initially bought them for, and they will help create that consistency through the seasons. And what they also do is it helps speak to a few different people as well. So unconsciously, we're also looking at the quality of the piece, the stitching of the piece, the fabric of the piece. So you can speak to people that may not have that knowledge of it, as well as speaking to people who you may be beginning to call in if you're moving to a higher level offer, and the people will be there kind of go, okay, I resonate with that as well. So it becomes more in the details when you get to that. This also means that you'll actually save money by investing in timeless pieces. And that doesn't mean go out and buy a $10,000 Prada jacket or something like that. It's buying something that is going to be for you, maybe a little bit of investment, but will retain what it's meant to be there for. So rather than buying something that's not going to maintain the look and feel. So one of the biggest issues that I find, and a very justifiable issue as well, when you do not necessarily have the money to be able to invest in good quality items is that they will degrade much faster. So it's kind of usually that little slight degradation that happens to shirts, whatever, that can really do a lot of damage. So it's better to be able to invest in one piece rather than investing in one piece every single year. And then, you know, after a couple of years, you can reinvest in another piece because you'll be at a completely different level on that. But investing in timeless pieces will do wonders. It completely changes the game. So number 4 is making sure that you're investing in pieces for your audience as well. So remember that your personal image is all about the persona that you're putting forward to your audience. So it's got to benefit them as well as authentically show who you are. So that goes back to your shape, everything like that. So if you're buying a piece that doesn't suit what your audience wants to see, then you may be polarizing out those who could be investing in you. So if your audience, you know, I'm just going to go out and create a really easy one here. Investors really come from that corporate background, blah, 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 blah. You're probably not going to get a bomber jacket. You're probably going to go for a blazer. Now you can make that a unique image. You do not want to be a cookie cutter and go directly into who they are, because they don't want to see who they are. They want to see who they want to be. However, they also want to see aspects of who they are, so they know they can trust you because you're part of their tribe. So using, again, blazer is a super easy example of this. Using a blazer that could be like slightly oversized, that you style a bit differently to be able to communicate and bring that trust in with them, is going to do masses in your visual communication, rather than going too far down the track and doing complete opposite. So they may not be ready to see that yet. Sure, in 6 months working with you, they would be like, oh my God, yeah, totally ready for you. However, in this capacity, they're not used to that yet. So I hope that's helpful. They are my 4 key general tips to transitioning your wardrobe to be on brand from one season into another, specifically moving into a cold season. And what I'm going to do is ask you to like, subscribe and follow, share with your friends, and I will be posting videos on each of the body shapes and how you can specifically go into that next season over the next coming weeks. So make sure you keep an eye out for that, and I'll post them as well. You can also join my Facebook group where I give out heaps of awesome tips and advice, and you can find out how to work with me through there as well, or you can just DM me here. So I'm Matilda Morgan. I'm CEO and founder of Impact Driven Style, and we help entrepreneurs, coaches, and awesome business women get really spot on with their personal image so they can create more impact and profits. Talk to you soon.